a real important question is, can you see yourself being able to sustain this lifestyle over the long term, or is it something that you'll find that you'll fall back into your old habits anytime soon with?
Well, once I got into the headspace of exactly that it was a lifestyle change, it got easier. Who doesn't want to feel awesome every day? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a sustainable long term. I'm Sarah. I'm 33 years old and I'm a commercial property manager. I look after a portfolio of office towers, mainly in the CBD. I think now, instead of focusing on just how I look, I'm focusing a lot more on how I feel. Also, I'm seeing all these other effects, which I guess I'd hoped for, but didn't realize would be so apparent. For instance, my sleep's improved, my anxiety in general has reduced, and my resting heart rate is going down significantly. Like, that's something I'm enjoying tracking in on my Fitbit, and I just feel fitter every week. Amanda spoke this week about having 3 non-negotiables every day. So for me, that's pretty much focusing on getting to the 3 sessions, doing the 10,000 steps a day, drinking the 2.5 liters of water. This is more than 3, but I kind of bucket them up.
Yeah.
And then staying in my weekly calories as well. So just keeping an eye on these little things. And I think that kind of planning appeals to me, and yeah, overall success. Yeah, well, I guess the consistency previously wasn't really there. It was a lot about looking for a quick fix. And if I didn't get the quick fix, I would fall off the wagon and undo all the hard work. I do really appreciate now that the consistency is the key, and that if I'm consistent with the training, the walking, being mindful of what I eat, and not just in assessing the makeup of the calories of what I'm eating, but actually being mindful when I'm eating it. I've found that really interesting, because previously I'll put a bowl in front of the keyboard and you're looking at something or doing some email, trying to that, and then I look down and the bowl's empty, and I haven't had that experience of, truly eating it. So anyway, yeah,
enjoy the food as well. Good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so just being more mindful, and I think all of that's helping for that consistency. Just realizing it's it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah, good. So Sarah, a lot of people are using lockdown as an excuse to not get out of bed in the morning, and they're using it as an excuse to skip their training. You have been remarkably consistent over this period. So what gets you up and at it?
Well, despite the fact that nobody is coming into the offices at the moment, I'm incredibly busy. So I think I just need to start the day right. Pretty much that involves jumping out of bed, filling the water bottle up, making the bed, which I think is a really important one. But then heading down to the garage, into the first online sessions.
Can you share your top 3 tips that you'd give to someone like yourself who just can't find the drive to make it happen right now?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think the hardest part is definitely starting. You can almost make any excuse, right? So you just have to do it. As I've gotten older, I've realized that the only person I'm cheating when I'm making excuses not to is myself. So I suppose just do it.
Were your biggest problems before you started working with us?
Well, I had a really highly stressful job that I was putting all my time and energy into. I found myself gaining weight as I was being promoted, and as the job was getting more responsibility and more stressful. It was also leading me to drink more in the evenings, and general feelings of anxiety developed as a result of that. I finally quit that job, and I remember seeing Own It Fit while I was scrolling through Facebook one night, and I remember reaching out to you and just saying, look, I've got this new job and I just want to be a different person. So yeah, pretty much that's where it started. I'd never really done any exercise before that, not even like school sport. thought I had actually tried to join a few gyms and things like that. I actually had a gym membership where I didn't even go at all.
Mhm.
I think there was an orientation day that we had at maybe Glebe, and the whole community was just really nice. It seemed like people had been there for a really long time, and that gave me a lot of faith that I was in the right place. So yeah, just showing up to those classes. All the trainers were really all the trainers were really memorable as well. And I think about it and thought about it every day. So it was definitely one of those things that, especially like I'd mentioned, I was had that stressful job. It would always be on my mind. I could go out and I could do exercise now, or I could get into work at 7 and get a couple of hours of work in before people got in. And then suddenly I'd be working till 7 p.m. and I'd be too tired. And yeah, it just wasn't fitting it in. Need time for it and negotiable. Just didn't give myself any option. Like, my health has to be a priority. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your habits and whether or not they've improved over the last while since you've been with us.
Yeah, well, I think my worst habit was letting other things take a priority. Like I was just saying, there was always something that would get in the way or an excuse. And I feel like you'll always find an excuse if you're looking for one. But yeah, also wine, a lot of calories in wine.
Yep.
But I guess with Own It Fit, it's not just a boot camp that I'm attending a few times a week. We've got the whole team that's making me accountable for my actions every day. And I'm learning a lot about other things, about the nutrition piece. And even mindfulness has crept its way in. I think the most important thing is, though, that it's a lifestyle, not a means to an end. And I think that's possibly the best habit of all. Yeah, I think before it was a bit of a roller coaster. I think I would jump onto challenges, and it was a bit stop-start. Something would get in the way and it just wasn't always consistent, not enough anyway to form some good habits. Currently, I'm feeling more motivated than ever. I think especially during lockdown, it's quite tolling mentally, and you really want to break up the day. So a session in the garage in the morning pretty much gets me, I do that and go for a quick walk around the block, and then I'm fresh and focused and ready to hit the emails and the calls when they start going through. And then I'm motivated again. I kind of put on another set of active wear and then try to get out for a walk during the day to further break that up. So yeah, I think motivation's great, killing it on the diet front as well.
Awesome. So you're not just doing one piece of activity for the day, you're actually doing two. You're doing a little workout and then you're doing a walk on top of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that I'm trying to do is just keep active as possible in every way. I think that at least by getting up and doing the session in the morning, if I don't get to do a walk later in the day, at least I know that I've done something and I've achieved something. Well, it was almost ingrained in me from a young age that exercise was hard work. So I think previously I would focus a lot on the diet component, and that was leading to some pretty obsessive behavior. It was all about what the number was on the scale and not at all about strength or fitness or consistency. And then I just get into this cycle where if I wasn't seeing that number move, it would all fall apart. So a roller coaster again, a bit like the motivation. Honestly, I think it's to do something every day and to make the time for it. It's the little wins, the consistency every day that will overall get results, and you'll get that achievement. I think the sense of community, to be honest. I tried to join a few gyms as well over the years, and I just never had that same, they didn't have that community. There's these pillars of support for your goals. You've got the fitness and the nutrition piece, and then the challenges. Another thing that the recent challenge has extended my knowledge on is the recovery aspect, which I wasn't thinking about at all. And then, yeah, just a little bit more of mindfulness. It's kind of just like a lifestyle program. Well, it was much more simple than I thought. It really is all about consistency and mind over matter and just getting up and showing up. So yeah, it's actually, regarding what I've learned in the process, it's actually quite embarrassing how long it took me to realize that the key is to put in good food for your body, and burn off more calories than you're putting in. I've also learned that not all calories are equal, and it is actually kind of that.
Tell me, what sort of results have you achieved over time with us?
Look, I've lost kilos and centimeters, which are just the just the things you can see, those tangible results. But I think the best result is how I'm feeling now, and it's from the consistency. It's almost that light on your feet feeling where I can get up really easily, move around, and it's only something from getting fitter and having that consistency in activity that's really just probably the best result.
How do you feel today in comparison to where you were before you got started?
I'm absolutely proud that this lifestyle is becoming a second nature to me. If I reflect on when I started, I feel like I'm constantly in the process of becoming the person that I wanted to be all along, like the annoying people that are active that you see in the mornings and on the weekend. That didn't used to be me, and I knew that it wanted to be. Instead, I was nursing a hangover. And I think I've also realized that my willpower is a lot greater than I realized, and I just don't feel like my best self unless I'm active and being active every day. And I just hate to think of all the beautiful days that I've wasted in the past. Yeah, look, I've been there before, and if you're anything like me, you're already down so many false starts. You just don't want to add another one to the list sometimes. But really, I think you've just got to do it. There's nothing to regret.
So, to help someone avoid this being a false start for them, what bit of advice would you give to them?
Well, I think you've got to be in the frame of mind, like, and actually this probably won't be in the won't make your cut, but it's taken me so many of those starts to get into that frame of mind. You've got to decide that this is the time that you're taking control, and you've got to be at that point, and committed to it, committed to do it. It's all like self-starting, I think.